Today we're going to be highlighting 12 14 plus hour longevity beast mode fragrances. Whether you work really long shifts or maybe you just want to be able to tell people that you have fragrances that are so strong that they will last 14 plus hours, these are going to get the job done for you. It's so easy to get caught up in the world of mega beast mode, crazy performing fragrances like this. Realistically, at least for a lot of people, it's probably not all that necessary. It can be a little bit overblown. Not everyone needs a fragrance that lasts 14 hours consistently, but it is still cool to have. So I've got 12 of them here. Pretty much all designers, like one niche, but it's kind of designer priced. So we're trying to keep it relatively affordable. Given that these are all very strong scents, they usually will trend in the higher end designer price range a little bit. That's usually how it goes. There are some cheapies out there that'll do well like this, but it's not nearly as common. So do keep that in mind. You might have to spend a little bit more money here, but still, it's going to be affordable. And by that, I mean most of these you can still get under $100 with the exception of one or two. So I will provide links to all these down below to discounters so you can follow along and get these at the prices that I'm referencing in this video. Posting deals on my community tab every day, $500 giveaways every month, emails that can go to your email for the deals. You can sign up at the link down below. But let's just get right into it. Starting off with Gucci Guilty Absolute. This thing is a monster. It's leather, woody notes, vetiver. It's not for the faint of heart, I have to warn you. This is potent. This is unlike really anything else on the designer market currently. And because of that, I think it's officially discontinued. However, you can still get it pretty much everywhere. Usually $80, $85, somewhere around in there for like a 90 ml bottle. Not cheap, but also not too overblown considering this has some serious niche characteristics to it. And when we boil it down, the performance of this one is off the wall. Crazy longevity, strong projection. This will turn heads either in a positive light or a negative light as well. So do be careful with it, but it will get attention. Next up, we have 1 million Elixir. So you could go with this, you could go with Lucky. I just kind of chose to go with this one because it's kind of the in production 1 million Lucky has been discontinued. You could still get it easily. However, I kind of just want to start getting used to my other options that are on the market so I can start telling you guys about them because someday 1 million Lucky is going to be completely dried up. This one here has apple, vanilla, tonka bean, very, very basic note breakdown. This is nothing new. It's nowhere near as unique as something like 1 million Privé and even 1 million Lucky to some extent. They definitely messed up by discontinuing those flankers, but this is going to be one of your next best options if you want strong beast mode performance. Got to sneak in a blue fragrance, you know me, and realistically, pretty much all of the major blue fragrances could be in this video. So it's kind of just like pick your favorite. If you like Dylan Blue, toss in Dylan Blue. It's going to be one of the most affordable ones. If you like Sauvage, EDT, EDP, Parfum, throw it in. I just went with Eau de Parfum. I think all around, when you take into consideration price, performance, compliment factor, quality, and just a slightly different take on that DNA, I think it's just one of the better ones you can get on the market currently. This stuff is a powerhouse scent. It's apple, sage, amberwood, some lavender. Big performer, big projector, lots of longevity, lots of compliments. Next up, Dior Fahrenheit Parfum, vanilla rum, suede, and a bunch of violet leaf, of course, is what this one is all about. Now, this one can be a little bit elusive. You have to make sure you're subscribed to my channel and subscribed to my mailing list because this is the type of scent that it'll show up on discounters, but it'll sell out not too long afterwards. So I don't feel so bad about featuring this one because you still can get it. You just have to be on the lookout for it. So get subscribed, check the community post every day. When it comes up, I'll post about it and you'll be able to get your bottle and you'll be happy and ready to go. It's still worth mentioning though. I think it's a great scent. Definitely my favorite Fahrenheit that is in production, which is only like a couple now, I believe. And who knows even if this technically is. They've discontinued a lot of their good ones, but it is a strong performer, much better than my newer bottle of Fahrenheit in terms of performance. So it's definitely saying something. Great stuff. Moving along, Dolce & Gabbana The One Mysterious Night. So it's very, very rare that you have beast mode, 14 plus hour longevity, and Dolce & Gabbana the one in the same sentence. And really, you could even take a step back and say Dolce & Gabbana and beast mode in the same sentence on their designer end of things, not talking about their more premium luxurious line. There really aren't too many when you break it down. The light blues really aren't too beast mode. The ones usually aren't beast mode except for this and maybe Luminous Night or something. I wanted to go with Mysterious Night though, given that it has a little bit more of a oud twist. It has a little more punch, a little bit more power in terms of its scent delivery, but ultimately it's got great longevity, great projection, and if you want something a little bit different, a little bit out of the ordinary, this is one you should go for. So here's that niche scent that is pretty much designer priced. In fact, you'll find that there might be a designer fragrance or two in here that costs more money than this. MANCERA Intense CEDRAT BOISE. So you could also put in Red Tobacco, Instant Crush. A lot of the big MANCERA heavy hitters realistically could have been in this video. I've talked about Red Tobacco quite a bit here lately, so I'm tossing this one in. It's CEDRAT BOISE, but stronger, a hint of oud, but not too overbearing, richer, creamier, heavier, and better performing, coming in at a full Parfum concentration. This stuff is a monster. It is so strong to the point where it's honestly, it just makes you shake your head. It's like this thing is still going, it's still projecting, it's still on my skin, I can still smell it 10, 12, 14 plus hours later. It'll last through a shower if you're not careful. You got to make sure you really scrub hard to get this off your skin. Otherwise, you get in the shower, it'll wake back up. You don't wash it off good enough. You get out, maybe you go to bed, you still smell this. I mean, it is insane. Now, going to the more affordable side, about half the price of the MANCERA that we were talking about, you could get something like FERRAGAMO UOMO, the original, or Signature. There's a lot of this or that in this video, right? There's a lot of beast mode fragrances out there. You just have to find them. I've got a lot. I could only put so many in a list of 12, and I don't want to put a bunch of ties, but just kind of mentioning it here and there in passing. UOMO Signature, great one. Leather, coffee, kind of mixing in with that sweetness, has great performance as well, but I still do really, really like the original, and that's kind of what I'm going for here. I love the gourmand sweetness, this coffee chocolatey sweetness that this one has. It smells fantastic. It smells so much better on skin, and it lasts on skin for 14 plus consistently. This thing is a beast. Now, if you want to go in the opposite direction, complete opposite direction of Ferragamo UOMO, personally, I would say go with something like this, Terre d'Hermès Parfum. Now, you could probably sneak in, let's see, Eau Intense Vetiver could probably go in here as well in terms of the longevity. That one has really, really good longevity. But this Parfum is going to be all the way around your most consistent 14 plus hour performer. It's really going to do the best given that concentration and the fact that it focuses even more heavily on the oak moss and the woods and that sort of thing. A little bit of orange up top, which is very popular with the DNA, kind of that dirty, earthy, spicy, orange, woody smell that you just get from the entire line. It's amped up even more here in the Parfum, and this thing is very strong, but also very reserved in a way of just smelling gentlemanly and masculine and well put together. This stuff here is also crazy, crazy long lasting, strong performing, best of both worlds, and also very unique for what it is. Tom Ford Tobacco Oud, a discontinued one that you can still get, and personally I recommend if you have any sort of slight interest, it's worth getting, because if you don't like it, you can sell it and make money off of it. I don't sit here and try to tell people to buy stuff and flip it, but let's be realistic. Where are you going to get a sample of this right now? Nowhere, probably, unless you're paying out the arm and the leg to get a little small goofy sample. Where are you going to go and walk into a department store and smell this? Nowhere. So when people get held back because of those restrictions and they're afraid, when you're talking about sought after fragrances like this and you're on the fence and you don't want to miss out but you're too scared, guys, pretty much always, unless you are really buying at an eBay price already, you can buy it. If you don't like it, sell it. You get your money back with a little bit extra on top. I recommend this to everyone who likes tobacco and boozy fragrances with some oud in them. I don't recommend this to people who don't like that. I don't recommend this to people who only like freshies, making that clear. But if you're into this type of thing, it should be be a pretty good idea to give this one a shot at some point while you still can. Up next, we have another, I wouldn't even call this a blue fragrance, but because it's from this line, people are going to call it a blue fragrance. I don't think it is, but it's SAUVAGE ELIXIR, sandalwood, nutmeg, cinnamon, warm spices to the max. I mean, all over this thing. Licorice in here as well, a little bit of lavender. This stuff is so potent, so ridiculously strong. It's crazy, sometimes almost too strong. I kind of made the mistake a few times this summer. Yes, this summer. I was still wearing this and testing it. Not like super crazy outdoor testing, mostly just inside. But if I would go outside for a little while and do stuff, it would really heat up. But I kind of oversprayed this a few times, and I wasn't worried about offending other people, but I offended myself. I mean, it was so strong. There was a time or two where I ended up having to scrub some of it off because it was even starting to get to me. Do be careful with it because, again, not even so much for other people, but this will get on your nerves if you apply too much. 14 hours is a scoff for this fragrance. It has no issue with that. Can also last through a shower, big projection, big scent trail leaving abilities. I mean, this stuff is so potent, and if you like beast mode fragrances, this is the one to get. Next up, we have 212 Sexy Men by Carolina Herrera. Not a very tasteful name, but it works. It works. That's all that matters, right? Magnetic cap, that's nice. Decent atomizer, that's also nice. It's got vanilla, it's got gaiac wood, black pepper. This is also kind of similar to 1 Million Elixir in that it's a DNA that is not new. This is the furthest from being unique or different. I just want to make that clear. When you smell this, you will literally go, ah, yeah, that's what you'll do. You'll just go, aha. You know why? Because you've smelled this before in a lot of different places. Now, that's not a bad thing, right? Look, that can be beneficial if all you care about is mass appeal and compliments. I don't see a problem. But in this instance as well, if all you care about is a 14+ hour longevity beast and you like compliments, this is kind of the best of both worlds. You're not going to be smelling unique, but you are going to be lasting a long time. The fragrance is anyway. And it's a tester that does come with a cap. We're going to finish this off with a clone, an absolute beast mode clone. We'll just roll right into it. HARAMAIN Amber Oud Ruby, Baccarat Rouge 540 Extrait clone at a fraction of the price. I'll show you the bottle one more time. I have a habit of pulling it away as soon as it goes out of focus, but that is a nice looking bottle. You can see the, whatever you call that, texture, brushed look to it. Nice deep ruby red color, gorgeous, gorgeous. Love the gold accenting. I mean, you could tell what they're trying to do with this, right? You just look at the presentation and know that it's probably BR 540, and when you smell it, that confirms it 100%. So why is this a clone of the Extrait? Simply because of the almond accord in here that is also found in the Extrait that is not found in the Eau de Parfum. That gives it a little bit more substance, a little bit more bite, makes it a little bit more interesting overall, and again, I'm telling you guys, so strong. It is stupid how strong this is. Alrighty guys, that's going to do it for me. 12, 14+ hour longevity fragrances. These are beasts, and if all you care about is having a scent that will basically not go away, check out any of these 12. You're going to find something you like in here somewhere. Links will be down below. Deals will be on the community tab and in your email if you sign up. That's going to do it for me. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.